Welcome to the PHP scripting tutorial in Virtual World. This tutorial is not a scripting tutorial for Virtual World in general, but more a way to use PHP in combination with Virtual World to make your programs more powerful and allow you to have a lot more versatility in what you can do. So, this first video, I'm going to go over what you will need in this series of videos to become an expert in PHP programming. So the first thing you're going to want is the Second Life Viewer 2, which you can see over here. You either need the Second Life version or an OpenSim optimized version. And this is for when we go into media prims. Second Life Viewer 2 is the only viewer that has access to media prims. So if you want to be able to use that functionality and see how these media prims work to make your access in Virtual World a lot more enriching, then you're going to need this program. So that can just be downloaded from the Second Life website and you'll be good to go. The next thing you're going to want is a basic knowledge of PHP. These tutorials are not going to go into detail about how to program in PHP, but more how to use the PHP knowledge to incorporate with Virtual World. So if you are new to PHP or have never programmed in PHP before, I would like to recommend PHP Academy. They're a great series of tutorials. You can just search it in Google, and this is where I first originally learned to program in PHP, and they have a great series of videos, and it will take you from the basics to whatever level you think you need to be at. But that's just a great way to get started learning PHP. So I'll briefly explain how different things work in PHP, but it's not going to be a complete overview. So you at least need to know how to get things set up and what everything means. So the next thing you're also going to need to know is how to script in Virtual World. This is not the original scripting tutorial, as I said before. So you're going to want to take a tutorial on how to script in Virtual World prior to this, and again I will explain what I'm doing, but I'm not going to go into every detail about how a program's set up and how it switches from state to state and that type of things. So the next thing you're also going to want is a web server. Now you're going to need to put your PHP programs on the web to be able to be accessed and ran. So to do this, there's several paid options. There's different free options where you can put your own websites, but make sure it has PHP compatibility. But if you don't want to mess with all this and putting it up on the internet, I know there's also a program called WAMP, which basically sets up an Apache server on your home computer and allows you to run PHP off of that. So if you don't want to mess with getting a server, you could try using this as well. And the next thing you're going to need is some way to put your PHP programs on that web server, which is the use of an FTP client. The one I'll be using is FileZilla, which is a great program. You can just search it in Google and it'll take you right to where you can download it. It's free, so you can't beat that. It's very easy to use. It's just drag and drop between the two interfaces, and I highly recommend it if you're looking for a FTP client that you need to use for this program. And the last thing you're going to need is a text editor. Something such as Notepad, like I'm using here, will work, but I'd recommend Notepad++. It's also just go into Google, Notepad++, and it'll take you right to where you can download it, and it's really easy to get working. And it's also free, and the thing I like about Notepad++ compared to just the basic Notepad is over here you'll see it has a variety of programming languages, so you can actually set your program to PHP. And then when you're scripting in PHP, you no longer have to just have a black screen that has all your code on it. It'll actually color code the different things in order to make it look more like a programming editor. So PHP doesn't really have its own IDE, but I like Notepad++ a lot because it gives you this nice look, and it's really easy to see where you might have made a mistake or how things are being set up. So that is what you'll need to get started in these tutorials, and I hope you find them useful as we get started here.